Abongile, I believe you are with one of the top achievers in Port Elizabeth. Tell us a little bit more about him and the class of 2020 in that province.
Yes, indeed. Very good evening to you, Tsepi. So, even though the province of the Eastern Cape recorded an 8.3 decline, there is a silver lining to them, with some people achieving really good results this year. Despite COVID-19 and other issues that affected the academic year, they really outdid themselves. One of them is Reynard Bass, a top achiever from the Nelson Mandela Metro from Pearson High School. Very good evening to you. Congratulations on your achievement. How does it feel to be a national top achiever?
I'm at a loss for words. I still hasn't sunken in all of everything that has happened, but I think I'm really proud of myself. I'm proud of all the hours of work that I've put in. When all my friends were out partying or whatever, I would be the one sitting on my books doing my work diligently. So in that regard, I'm really proud of myself.
What's your recipe behind this achievement?
I didn't actually have a recipe. I would just, when I get home, I'd start studying until I felt tired and then I went to bed. But I always put a lot of effort into every little assessment that I've done. I would, every small informal class test that I do, I would put in effort, even if it doesn't count for marks, because I know in the end that would help me produce better marks.
You were studying on the year 2020 when the COVID-19 was really rife. How was the anxiety when preparing for these exams?
I think I shared anxiety with all of the matrics all over the country. Especially on social media, there was always this sense of community with all of the matrics who all were struggling together. So that always made me feel a bit better, even though that sounds a bit morbid. But yes, I just knew that I had to have self-discipline. I didn't have teachers that would force me to do my work, so I knew I had to start working on my own.
Going forward, what are you planning to do? What are your future plans?
I'm planning to go to the University of Stellenbosch to study actuarial science. I'm not exactly sure on what everything entails, but I think that's the right career path for me.
Why that course out of all the courses that are there for you as a top achiever?
Because I've always been a love of mathematics. I can remember when I was like 4 years old, I would try and count to 1,000. I was always that kid that would just love to do maths homework. So I know that actuarial sciences has a lot of mathematics in its entire course. So I knew that I would really like that course.
Your message to the 2021 class of the class of 2021, what message do you leave behind for those who are aspiring to be like you?
So what I realized when I started preparing for my finals, that I spent so much time behind my books and I lost touch with the entire world, and that didn't feel well. Emotionally, it took a big toll on me, but then I realized that there's a balance between actually being yourself, being around with your friends, because in the end they will be your main supporters, and actually putting in the hard work. So I try to always keep that part of myself within me while working hard.
I understand that you also did extramural activities at school, such as taking part in athletics and being part of the choir.
Yes.
You managed it well, though.
Yes, I managed it well. I wasn't a top sportsman at my school. I just did it because it's one of the school rules. But yes, I really enjoyed choir. It was always a nice break from all my academics, and I just love singing in general.
Okay. Lastly, how are you yourself going to reward yourself for this achievement?
Can you please repeat that question?
How will you reward yourself for this achievement? How will you pat yourself in the back?
I would just go and jump into bed and just take a nice 12-hour sleep for tonight, because I am extremely tired. I didn't get any sleep before this because I was really stressed. So I would just go sleep, and then when I get back home, I'll obviously celebrate with my friends.
All the best, man. Thanks a lot for your time.
Thank you.
Well, Tsepi, so that was the top achiever nationally in Quintile 5, Reynard Bass, telling us about the plans that he has and the messages that he wishes to tell the people who are aspiring to become like him. Well, the Eastern Cape Department of Education, we also had a chance to speak to them. They say they see this decline, but they are saying that they will put more measures in place to improve this pass rate. And you'll recall that they were aiming for 80% pass rate, but that was not to be, even though they had invested 500 million rands into procuring tablets so that every matric learner could have learning material, even though there was COVID-19. But that was not to be. Tomorrow they'll be announcing these measures that they have to increase this pass rate. Sepiso?
Abongile, the Eastern Cape second from the bottom in terms of the national provincial pass rate at 68.1%, but Nelson Mandela was, as a district, singled out as one of the top performing districts. Is there anything that made it stand out? What did they do extra to help them claw back perhaps the work that had been done before COVID?
Well, the Nelson Mandela Metro, it is also the district that our guest comes from. It enjoys a really, even last year they were really at the top and they excel academically. The MEC was saying that because it's in that area where it's a metro and measures, they attend to their problems, unlike in rural areas where they are addressed. There are measures of not having teachers, shortages of teachers. There, things seem to be going quite well, Tsepiso.
And I want to talk about poor schools. The Education Minister really praising them for giving good and better pass rates this year than in previous years, the Eastern Cape being one of the poorest provinces in the country. Just take us through some of the challenges that learners had to overcome and how possibly they did do that.
Well, Tsepiso, as I said, that they did embark on this devices of having tablets so that COVID doesn't disrupt the academic calendar. That was one of the other measures that they tried, but it was, even though they have 68.1%, but 50% of that 68.1% are bachelor passes. So that was one of the key roles that those tablets played. But it remains to be seen how they will improve the 68.1%, Tsepiso.
So you mentioned the fact that you spoke to the Education Department provincially. And you also said that they're going to do their best to at least try and capitalize on the groundwork that they did to overcome these challenges. Are they a little bit more specific, especially either from district level or individual learners? Because we know that there are challenges of learners from not only the poorer school, but learners whose parents would have lost jobs, etc., etc.
Well, the MEC Fundilegate didn't want to go into finer details as tomorrow they'll be holding a media briefing dissecting these results. So we'll wait and hear what exactly he has to say regarding that, Tsepiso.
All right, thank you very much, Bongile. Yankees, my colleague there in the Eastern Cape, he was just interviewing one of the top performers in Port Elizabeth, and as you mentioned, Nelson Mandela Bay as a district, the top performing district in the province.